comes the boogie woogie. Oh, yeah. Hey. Can you dig it? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We come to you tonight on a very special evening. It's Friday. It's Untethered Live on a Friday night. I'm your host, Jake Johnson. How are you tonight? How has the week been? Have you been inundated with work? Are you tired? Are you ready for the weekend? Are you ready to kick back and kick your shoes off and take in the world for a couple of days before we got to get back to doing it some more? How are you? How's the world? What it is first in chat, and he says, oh boy, here we go again. Swallowing the colors of the sounds I hear. Am I just a crazy guy? Not at all. Amanda says, here's your gold star, what it is. Put it on your mantelpiece next to your Golden Globes. Tell your grandkids about it and tell them the story of how you achieved that gold star one day. It's fantastic. And what it is says, hello, Amanda, wave your hand. And Amanda says, hi, what it is. And hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see you all. Happy Friday. I hope everyone had a good week. How are you tonight, Jake? Apoplectic. I'm beside myself with envy. Amanda says, oh, yeah, can you dig it? And Fab Daddy says, dig it. Right on. Hey, Fab, what's up, buddy? Amanda says, hi, Fab. Fab Daddy says, can you feel the hole after I dig it? Because I am tired. Right? Right? I'm with you, buddy. Amanda says, LOL, Fab. And Amanda says, I'm ready for a wild weekend. Yes. Fab Daddy says, wild? Yeah. That is my middle name. Amanda says, yes, Fab Daddy, wild. Fab Daddy says, jungle wild? We don't swing that way, Fab Daddy. John H. is here. He says, happy fluffy Friday, everyone. Happy fluffy Friday to you, John. Nice to see you. And Amanda says, any wild? Yeah, I don't swing that way. She might. I don't. Amanda says, sure, Fab, any wild. I read that one. Why am I reading it twice? Hi, John. What's going on, everybody? It's Friday, and I'm ready to kick back and relax. I'm drinking a nice hot cup of coffee. Thank you to the people that provide the coffee for the show. This is a particular special blend of coffee. It's called Regular Joe. And don't you want to have a cup with me and talk about the world? If so, go to the kitchen, pour yourself a nice hot cup of coffee, and let's get to talking. If you don't have a cup, though, I recommend you look down below. There's an extra cup there that wasn't there before, so check it out. You might like it. They're lovely cups. One of them has my face on it. I recommend that one. But the other one, the new one, might be a seller. We'll have to see. And also, like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box. You want to show a little bit of love? You want to throw a little clang-a-ling in my way? You want to... BJ. You can do that right there. Also, hit that CashApp $ Jake Johnson Band. And if you want to have a place where everybody can get together outside of this show and hang out and share pictures, videos, texts, and chats, and keep up with all things Untethered Live Universe, you can do that at facebook.com/Untethered Live Family. All one word, Untethered Live Family. It's a great place to hang out. It's a new site, so go check it out. Become a member over there. It's free. And see what all it has to offer. It's pretty nice. It's ran by the Band Hammer. Good coffee. All right, back to the show. Amanda says, we can act like wild animals. Old wild animals, maybe. Old sleepy wild. I'm a lion. I'll sleep most of the day and then growl. Fab Daddy says, hi, John, and what it is. Nice to see you guys. Mr. P is here. Some kind of hieroglyphics. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's toast. Might be toast. Kind of looks like toast. I think I see Jesus. Wait. Might be a square-headed man with a grimace. I don't know which. Amanda says, hi, Mr. P. And hi, Mr. P. Mr. P says, hello, gang. Fab Daddy says, hanging from the chandelier. Yes, I have been known to hang from chandeliers from time to time. Amanda says, oh, yeah, but the ceiling fan is more fun because it goes around in circles. Right. Although they don't hold too much weight, so you have to see. Mr. P says, uh-oh, politics. Anyone ready? That's tomorrow night. Tonight we're just hanging. I'm ready, and I still don't know what that symbol is. Is that the UGG symbol? I don't know what that is. But I'm ready. Patty's here. She says, no wild animals allowed. Okay, I'll chill. Hi, Patty. Fab Daddy says, I see angry Cheeto toast. That's what I thought it was, toast. It might be something else, though. I don't know. I don't know. Amanda says, LOL, Mr. P. And Amanda says, hi, Patty. And Patty says, hi, Miss Amanda. Angry Cheeto toast. Is that where you get Cheeto dust from? I know someone who's often thought about Cheeto dust. Interestingly enough, her name is Ashley Judd. She has somewhat of a history as a slam poet. A bad one at that. Anyway, Mr. P says, I'm just getting pumped up, Jake. I've been here nearly a year, and I know when politics is, buddy boy. Want to fight? Nah, not tonight. Tonight's Friday. I'm tired. Fab Daddy says, poet. Something. It was a 8 years ago thing. Although for some reason I remember it like it was yesterday. Go figure. No, Mr. P, my fight's over. I just want to chill, hang out, enjoy company. But I'll respond to whatever comes my way. You know how I be. And I know you've been here a while. I know a man from Nantucket, says Fab Daddy. Really? Did he know a girl from Poughkeepsie? Ha-ha, I got you, didn't I? I know both of those rhymes, and they're both nasty. Nastier than two white horses falling in a mud puddle. Knock, knock. Just kidding. It's been a long day. Been a long day of printing T-shirts. I did 500 T-shirts today by myself. That's a lot of T-shirts. It takes all day. I know a girl from Biloxi, says Fab Daddy. Right on. I know a girl from Fuck It. She's Taiwanese. Nope, I don't know what those are. One looks like a enraged piano, and the other one looks like a sick Rolling Stones logo. I don't know. Mr. B says, these faces are goofy as F. I never look at them, right? They are kind of goofy. Is that what they are, faces? You got to remember, I'm nearly blind, and it's very far away from me and very tiny. So I see purple and orange. I don't know what that is, though. I can vaguely make out the shape of them. It's 2 feet away. It don't look like it, but it's a full arm length away, and then some. I know it looks like I'm right up on top of the camera, but I'm not. Amanda asked me the other day, she said, why don't you sit back in your chair instead of sitting up on the edge of it all afternoon? I was like, because if I sit back, I'll lose the camera. I live in this world right here. This is my world. If I go back here, You see? No face in the camera. Fab Daddy says, what do you think about Freudian psychology? I think if you're on cocaine, it makes a lot more sense. Mr. P says, hit that like button, y'all. Don't be stingy now. That's right. There's 11 people in chat, but only 7 likes. That means 4 of you don't care particularly about what I'm doing here. You know, if you hit that like button enough times, the algorithm will see that and then propagate the video to other people, which is kind of what we're trying to do. Is we are products of our parents. We are products of our parents. Unless somebody else steps in and takes over, like the school, and then cuts the parent out of the deal, which is happening in some places. And in that case, we're not products of our parents. We're products of the cult that has engulfed us, which is what happened to some of the children that I know about. Mr. P says Freud was a effing pervert who projected his own insecurities into his patients. True that. He's also the guy that invented the Oedipus Rex complex, if you know anything about that. And personally, my opinion, I think all psychology is hooey. Now, is that saying that there isn't somebody in a university somewhere up in an ivy tower that could actually help you, that could study the brain and knows how the ins and outs of thought works and has studied different characteristics of how people behave? And yeah, there's that guy exists. He's not in the strip mall down the road. He's not in your local doctor's park. I'm sorry. Those guys are scam artists. It's just like dentistry. It's another thing to take more money. They ruin your teeth so that they can fix them. I had good teeth to start with. How about that? I'm personally one who believes that God doesn't make mistakes. He knows perfectly well what he's doing, and he designed these bodies to function properly if they follow the right rules. And if you're having problems, it's because you don't follow the rules. Patty says, we are products of our parents, for sure, and self-esteem determines most everything. Well, confidence is key. That's a fact. Fab Daddy says, I bought Star Wars coffee today. Cool. Are you drinking a cup of Java right now? Java the Hutt? Java the Hutt coffee. I like it. Yes, Patty. Confidence can determine everything. If you approach the world with a lack of confidence, you will be passed by in every aspect of it. You will find yourself on the outside looking in more often than not. If, however, you walk in like you own the place and project authority, people respond in kind. You can test this theory by putting on a white coat and go say random things to people and watch and see if they don't listen to you. They will, because you're wearing a doctor's coat. Not because they think you're a doctor. They don't even question it. They just roll with the flow because confidence is everything. Put a stethoscope around your neck, you instantly gain 10 points in IQ. Speak with a British accent, you instantly gain 10 points in IQ. That's just the nature of the world we live in. And it's the nature of herd mentality, which most of us are guilty of at one point or another. Mr. P says, obviously there are certain things that rub off on you from spending time around your parents, but it doesn't mean that's everything. Mindset is in the moment. Being self-aware makes all the difference. Well, yeah, but you'd be surprised how many people are not self-aware. A lot of people are just coming to terms with the fact that they're not the star in their own movie. Most people think they are. Most people don't realize that they're bit part players. Bones Coffee Company, says Fab Daddy. Nice. Patty says, being aware is great self-esteem. Yes, it is. Amanda says, LOL, Bones. That's a good show, Fab Daddy. Yeah. Fab Daddy says, I can go anywhere if I have high visibility and a leaf blower, right? Or a toolbox or a ladder or a clipboard. You'd be surprised what you could get into with just those tools. People react to authority. They just do. There's been many tests that prove this theory, many social experiments. I can't remember the name of the study, but it's the one where they shock you, and there's an actor in the other room pretending to be shocked. You ask a series of questions. Every time they get one wrong, you have to shock them and then raise the value of the shock. And then there's a scientist over your shoulder saying, continue. And it goes up to a point that says lethal shock, and they push you past that point. 95% of everybody that participated in that study went all the way till after they were dead. They didn't know that there wasn't a real person being shocked. They were not in on the joke. 95% people, because an authority figure said, keep going, this is important, they did it. That's how you end up being a Nazi, by the way. Because if everybody around you is doing it, you tend to do it too. Now, not everybody is like that, but most people are. Most people would not want to admit that they're that way, but they are. Fab Daddy says, I can go. I read that one. Leaf blower will get you in a lot of doors. So will $1,000 cash. I'm just saying. You'd be surprised how many doors that will open. The visible wheel greases many something. That study is flawed. It might be flawed, but it's also true. It happened. Then you got the other studies of where they they set up like a prison system and had some in charge and some that were inmates, and then they role reversed to see what would happen. They had to shut that one down because it got out of hand. And in what way is it flawed, Fab Daddy? Tell me the details. Dish! Facts have feelings too, or something. Mr. P says, my stepfather was a total piece of shit. Mother was an angel and took over rooms. She was in my something. She was in my arrow. Oh, she was an angel that took over a room she was in. My greater than sign? Greater than, less than. Yeah. Less than, greater than. Yep. Fab Daddy says, they never gave them a visual. No, they didn't, but they still did it. Fab Daddy says, people are more brave behind the curtain. I don't know if that's bravery or just gullibility. Linda Davis says, good evening, all. Hey, Linda, how are you? My mom was a fiery redhead every sense of the word. I knew her for 45 years. Never once did I ever hear her apologize for anything, ever. She just was not wrong. Mr. P says, my dick enters the room 10 minutes before I do, and it ain't that big, obviously. You'd think I'd be a Nance. I'm not. Interesting. Is flawed because they didn't see the person die? How is that flawed? The object is to see if they would keep going or if humanity would take over and they would stop. They didn't. So flawed or not, it produced results. Fab Daddy says, stop walking into rooms in slow motion, Mr. P. Right on. Yeah. Patty says, which was after dog, he found the curtain with Oz, just a man. Huh? I got to go back. I don't understand that one. What's the last thing Patty said? Being aware is great self-esteem is the last thing you said. And then you said, which was after dog, he found the curtain with Oz, just a man. You mean the Wizard of Oz? Are you talking about the Wizard of Oz? The witch was after the dog, and the guy behind the curtain was just a man? Yes. Mr. P says, because of my mother being the real man of our household, Jake, that's why I said the Nance thing. I got it. Mother raising you doesn't mean you have to end up a certain way. All I meant. Well, dude, not only was I raised by my mother, I was raised in a house full of women. I've been around women my whole life. Would you consider me feminine? I was raised with 5 women in the house, no men. I didn't have a male role model. My dad was a drunk, stayed in the barn all day long when he wasn't at work. So I raised myself as a man. My mom just got tough because she needed to. But do I seem feminine? I wouldn't think so. In fact, I would think that most people would never question my sexuality. Even if I wore pink tassels and lamé, they would think I was straight, because I am. Behind the curtain, says Fab Daddy. And Fab Daddy says, Jake, you seem very feminine. Do I? Okay. And Mr. P says, my point exactly, Jake. We have similar stories. Eerily similar. Yeah. Unfortunately, this generation that we came up in was a lot of people had that same story. My real father died when I was very young, and he was abusive and very mean, which is why we weren't with him. We left him when I was 6 years old because he threatened to chain my mother to a stump, leave her in the woods. So we left, and he died, I think, in 1985. I was probably 11 years old at that time, something like that. And then my stepfather came into the picture and was with us for the rest of the time and ended up dying in 2016. But he was never a dad. He was just a dude that was around, but he never spent any time. In fact, he kind of hated me because I wasn't his. And that's another problem that stepchildren often have to suffer, is the step-parent not actually bonding with you because you're not theirs, and they know that in the back of their mind. Well, that's what I had to deal with growing up. But I was around 5 women my whole life. I learned about a period before I learned about anything else, you know. And the only thing I can tell is I'm not that into sports. That's the only thing I see that isn't manly that I do. I work on cars, I spit, I scratch, I smell, all the other stuff. Just don't like sports, so go figure. Amanda says, I've seen you in pink tassels and lamé. Yes, you have. Did I look gay? No. Does Jake wear garter belts? No. I don't even wear underwear. What are you talking about? I'm a man. I ain't playing that game. I let that puppy hang. Amanda says, LOL, nope, Fab Daddy. Dana's here. She says, exactly, Jake. I was raised by men because my mother died when I was 8 years old, and I am not masculine in any shape or form. Greetings. I don't believe you are. I can tell in your writing that you're very proper and very feminine, and that's beautiful. And I don't think that nurture is an argument. It's nature versus nurture. I think nurture is what all people have with whatever they have to work with, and they make their way in life, but it's your own personal experiences in life that shape who you are. That being said, there's some things that can't be beat out of the hide what's in the blood. You can't beat out of the hide what's in the blood. So there are some things that will carry over from your parents because you are 50% your parents. So certain mannerisms, certain features, certain behaviors will come over. But largely, your life determines who you are and what you go through. Deep Thoughts with psychologist therapist, Jake. The rapist. Therapist. Amanda says, hi, Dana, hun. Heart. And Fab Daddy says, I want sock suspenders. Yeah, that was an old thing back in the day when they wore black socks that were very thin and would ride down into your shoe. And they tried that. People got tired of doing it. Mr. P says, my real father died when I was 3 months old, and he was a legend in the community. I've said all this before. Just interesting. Right on. It's nice to have a legendary father. Mine was not. He was legendary, but for the wrong reasons. My dad was very mean. I'll put it to you this way. The first time my mother left my father, we lived in an old ramshackle barn out in the woods, and we had to carry water from the neighbor's house every day in jugs because we didn't have running water. We took a bath in cold water in a wash tub outside once a week, whether we needed it or not, and we hunted for our food and had a garden across the street. Now, the first time my mother left my dad, she went straight to the police station, and she told the sheriff, or police, or whoever it was, that she had some stuff, some pictures at the house, and she wanted to get them, but she was leaving my father because he was abusive. And he said, all right, ma'am, we'll ride out there together, and I'll be with you while you go in and get your stuff. Well, they got there. My dad was leaning in the doorway, standing there just waiting, drinking a cup of coffee. And she and the sheriff got out of the car, and she walked towards him. He never moved. She had to go under his arm to get in the house. And when she passed him, my dad did this. And the sheriff got in the car and left. That was my dad. Understand? Kevin Cox, what's up, buddy? He says, hey, what's up, Kev? Nice to see you. Linda says, alcohol can be devastating to a family. Yes, it can. It can damn sure make your blood run cold in the middle of the night thinking about beating your father to death with a cane. It can do that. Amanda says, I rock that shirt like a king. What are we talking about? Oh, the pink tassels. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, somewhere out there's a picture of me in a pink lamé shirt with tassels and a cowboy hat. It's very nice. Dana says, hi, dear Amanda. Heart. Mr. P says, keyboard is against me tonight. I hear you, buddy. Yeah, mine is too because my fingers are numb and I can't feel the keys. So I'm constantly having to stop and back up and retype. I hate it. John says, pink nipple clamps, Jake. That would be questionable, yes. Amanda says, hey, Kevin. Patty says, hi, Dana. And Amanda says, LOL. He likes them, John. That pink nipple clamps? I do not. Dana says, oh, hi, dear Patty Donahue. Heart. And Amanda says, very, Linda. Alcohol is worse than drugs. It can be. What it is says 8 ball. It's exclamation point 8. The number 8 and the word ball. Exclamation point 8 ball. Space. And then ask your question. And yes, I need meds. For sure. I am manic depressive. Back in the old days, they didn't have words like attention deficit disorder or PTSD. They had, that's a weird kid. Pull up your pants and get to it, boy. Walk it off. Rub some dirt in it. You know, that kind of thing. Amanda says 8 ball. Then the question, what it is. Right on. Does Jake need meds? Yes, probably. Mr. P says, my dad was mean as well. Strict. Lived by the rules of the Bible. Yeah, some people go too far with that. My sister got beat for wearing designs on their T-shirts. Nothing to draw attention to their anatomy was allowed. Yeah. My father would beat my mother and my sister and not me. I was just a little baby, by the way, but I remember it. And I had kind of like survivor's guilt because of that, because he never hit me. but I watched him beat them. And that'll mess you up for a lifetime. That's what these wrinkles are all about. 8-Ball, does Jake need beds? 8-Ball says, forget about it. Fab Daddy says, listening to your story is entertaining. No matter if you're damaged makes a stronger person. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my story is entertaining, and it's also like a movie because it's quite illustrious. However, I maintain that it breeds people that you like to watch on TV, not people you actually want to know in real life. Like I told you before, this never turns off. This is who I am. Always. You could take about 2 weeks of it and you're ready to pull your teeth out. Linda says, I walked in on my dad threatening my mom with a piece of broken window, and I beat him with my crutches. I had a broken leg at the time because I got hit by a car. So, yes, Jake, I can understand that. I was too little to beat him. I was maybe a year old, maybe. And I might have been younger than that. I don't remember, but I just remember hiding in the closet or being put in the closet, I don't know which, and listening to the commotion outside and being terrified. And I have hated myself for that for many, many, many years. Even as a child, I knew that I should have done something. And that shaped my whole life. I don't put up with that shit now. I'll snatch a knot in your ass so fast. I don't care how tall you are. I will hurt you if I catch you manhandling a woman. You think you've seen the devil before. You see that? That's hell, fire, and brimstone. You see that? I'm scared of that one myself. Ever let me hear tell you beating on a woman, I will come to your house and remove you of your teeth. That being said, just to be fair, if she hits you first, lay that bitch out. No problem there. Mr. P says, we all have absorbed a certain amount of damage. It's part of what makes us unique. I agree with that. That also challenges your belief system. It challenges the way you view the world. It causes you to ask questions you wouldn't ordinarily ask. It puts things in your mind that wouldn't ordinarily be there, which makes an interesting person. I have never met a person that was extremely talented or extremely funny or extremely smart who did not have a damaged childhood. Damage makes you interesting. People that aren't damaged are not interesting. So whatever. So you don't fear evil, says what it is? No, I do not fear evil. Not at all. Amanda says, I think that a man who has to beat on women are cowards. Most of them are, yes. And that being said, I have met women that will get right up in your face and push every button you got and dare you to hit them because that's what they want. I've met those women too. Not all women are like that, but some of them are. Just like not all men will beat on a woman, but some of them will. I am not one of them. I'm not going to beat on you. I don't have to. I don't need to. You know how strong I am. You live with me. You see what I do on a daily basis. If I get to the point where I have to smack you around, I'm just going to go somewhere else. Period. If we can't talk about it, it's too far. Can't fix it. And know what it is. I do not fear evil, not even a little bit. Evil cannot touch one hair on my head because I have strong faith. Evil can touch everything around me, though, and that has and will happen. Remember, you get the most flack when you're flying over the target. If you're not close to God, Satan doesn't have any interest in getting you. If you are close to God, that's when he comes out in full force. Fab Daddy says, the only time I hit on a lady was at the club. Right on. And Dana says, yes, Amanda, 100%. Linda Davis says, I was only 8 at that time. Good girl. That's a hard thing to have to go through. Amanda says, if a woman puts herself in a man's position, then she should be treated like a man. I agree with that also. I am not A man, there's no reason to ever hit a woman, like Bill Burr says. No reason to ever hit a woman. I can think of 13 right off the top of my head, but you don't do it. But no reason? Come on. Dana says, tough times makes us stronger. It is a character builder. Amen. But here's the thing you need to watch out for. Let's see if I can get this right. Tough times make hard people. Hard people make tough children. Tough children make good times. Good times make weak children. Weak children make bad times. Bad times makes tough people. That's the truth. Chemtrail Warriors in the house. She says, hey, Jake, I think Trump stopped the chemtrails. I think Doge found the money on the project as well. Cool. It's a good thing, isn't it? Amanda says, hi, Chemtrail. And Chemtrail says, hello, Amanda. Patty says, I like reading that. It sure gets tough, though, Dana. Tough, though, Dana. Yes, it does. Tough times make stronger. It's a character builder. Or sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Mr. P says, agreed, Amanda. I've got 5 older sisters, and they still tell stories of me defending them as a kid to this day, including some bad injuries. I'd do anything for my sisters. I have one sister, and she is the apple of my eye, and I will hurt you over my sister. Believe that. And a lot of her boyfriends have found out. Effed around and found out. One of them got a crescent wrench to the kneecap because he thought he was going to joke me out and talk about sleeping with some other woman while I was working on my bike when I was about 15 years old. And I hit him in the knee with a crescent wrench, and he don't walk right to this day. Sometimes my sister pops in here, by the way. Her name is Melissa. Check her out if she comes in and says hello. And Amanda says, good one, Mr. P. Or good on you, Mr. P. Sorry, I can read. And Danny says, thumbs up. Fab Daddy says, it's the circle of life. Yes, it is. Mr. P says they had some shitty boyfriends, LOL. Yeah. Women don't have particularly the best taste in men right off the bat. They have to learn that just like everybody else does. Fab Daddy says, but the universe is flat, not spherical. Are you a flat universe conspiracy theorist, Fab Daddy? Amanda says, I have 4 blood and 4 adopted brothers, so I grew up tough, but they were there for me always. Most of them anyway. Right on. What it is says, the South Carolina death row inmate that executed by firing squad died of a broken heart. Yep. Had bullets all in it, didn't it? Fab Daddy says, I am. You am what? You am a conspiracy theorist? A flat universe conspiracy theorist? John H. says, my sister's a psycho. Kicked her boyfriend down the stairs, and he broke his leg for cheating. Go, sister. That's how you handle a cheater. Linda Davis says, LOL, Amanda. I was the one that protected and got into fights for all my sisters. You seem like a tough girl, Linda. I like women with a backbone. I like submissive women, but I like them submissive because they want to be, not because they have to be. You understand what I'm saying? I like willing submissiveness. I don't like the power play thing. I'm not into that. I have my own mind, and you should have your own mind too. But I like a girl that will be giving and submissive, know her place, know her role, but also have enough backbone to not take any of my shit. That's what I like. Or anybody else's. Amanda says, LOL, John would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing, John, says Amanda. Fab Daddy says, flat universe, not ball, maybe cylindrical. What about the earth? You think the earth is a ball, or you think it's flat? What it is says, did anyone order an ass kicking? Right. You see, that's the thing most people don't understand about old Jake. You can't tell by looking at me. But, hang on. Got something going on here. I'm finding props. Hang on. There we go. All right. You can't tell by looking at me, but I'm about 5'9" with cowboy boots on. And I'm built. I got muscles. But I'm not particularly threatening to look at. But what they don't understand about old Jake is I don't bullshit. And if I got to take you down, I'm taking you down. Period. Because, and I'll tell you why. I know that sounded tough coming out of a small feller, but listen, I'm old, and I'm no fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I got one good punch in me. If that don't do it, you're probably going to win. So I'm going to make sure that one punch is not going to be forgettable. Remember that if you ever want to tie up with me. Remember that I ain't playing. Because I can't fight. But I can be on your house at 5 o'clock in the morning with a baseball bat when you come out to check the mail. And I don't give up. Ever. Never. How about that? Amanda says, or he would have woke up with his junk super glued to his leg. Gross. No, you just get away from cheaters. You don't deserve that, and you don't need to put up with that. Just here's the thing you need to know, ladies. If a man will do it once, he'll do it for the rest of his life. There's no changing. There's no such thing as a changed person. People are who they are. If you got somebody you can't trust, it's a losing battle. You're just putting off the inevitable. You will lose. In the long run, it'll happen again. So get away from it. Just don't settle. Decide who you want to be with and go get it. Don't be outlandish. Don't set your sights so high that you can't achieve it. You know, don't be that girl that says, if you're not 6'2" and have $100,000, you're not dating me. That's never going to happen because you're not a 10. That being said, set your sights reasonable but good. Look for a man that believes in God and loves his mother. If you find that, chances are you'll find a good man that'll do whatever it takes for your family and provide for you, which is what you really want. No, you don't want a man that makes you laugh. You don't want a man that'll show you his feminine side. That's a lie that was told to you by the media. When you have that, you'll dry up like a cracker and lose all respect for that man. You want a man that's a little bit dangerous, and you know it, but restrains himself. That's the man you want, because that's the man that'll defend your family to his last breath. That's the man that'll get out and work every day regardless of how he feels. That's the man that'll put up the Christmas tree every year despite the fact that you never get new ornaments and it's the same tree from 10 years ago. He'll do it, and he'll act like he's happy about it. That's the guy you want. Mr. P says, Linda, people don't know about those Greek families till they do. Then it's all. Right? I've tangled with a few Greeks in my life. I know what you're talking about. Passionate Greeks. Right on. Linda says, true, Mr. P, but I also am half Sicilian. So not only is she passionate, but she'll cut your throat. Poison your spaghetti. Put a horse's head in your bed. Fab Daddy says, the earth is spherical. I watched SpaceX launch yesterday. Well, that's all CGI. You can't believe what you see on TV, Fab Daddy. As far as you're concerned, the earth's flat, and it always will be. Prove me wrong. Mr. P says, Linda, probably a lot of the same blood there. Greeks were in Syracuse for hundreds of years. And Amanda says, LOL, yeah, about a minute to a minute and a half of wrestling, and he's ready to quit. He's tired. That's all I need is a minute. I can break your jaw in a minute. I can't do it in 10 minutes because I'll be huffing and puffing and laying on the ground. Mr. P says, oh, I read that one. John says, I only had 3 fights in my life, and 2 of them ended up in the hospital with my hands. Yeah, that's the thing a lot of people don't tell you about when you get in your first fight, is that when you hit, it hurts you too. Fab Daddy says, I don't want a man. Hope not. Linda says, I don't think Walter has ever put up a Christmas tree in all our 30 years together. I'm sorry. Walter? Fab Daddy says, it's hard to live with anyone, whether they are a man or woman. Not really. It's hard to live with somebody you're not compatible with, true enough. It's hard when you make excuses for what should be the inevitable. And a lot of people do that. It's not hard when you're on the same page with the person you're with. That's when it's peaceful. If you find someone that compliments you, their crazy matches your crazy, then every day is a joy, and conversations are fun, and what you watch on TV is interesting because you both have the same interests. Things like that. Bill Bennett says, hello, guys. A little late. What's up, Bill? Amanda says hi. What it is says, limo riding, jet flying, styling, profiling. The women riding Space Mountain all night long. Woohoo. Yep, that's what the young people think. But here's the problem with young people. They get old. Amanda says, LOL, what it is. Damn. Fab Daddy says, oh, sounds like love. Right on. Yep. When I look for a woman, I look for a woman that I can argue with all night long and still enjoy her company. And I look for a woman that wouldn't get insulted if I took her to McDonald's. Because here's the way I feel about it. If you're not willing to sit with me while I have nothing, you don't deserve to sit with me when I have everything. True. Amanda says, Fab, Jake and I live together quite nicely. Live together. Jake and I live together quite nicely. Yeah, because she knows I'll pop her one. Pow, zoom, right to the... No, I'm just kidding. Fab Daddy says, love is pain. No, love is love. It becomes painful because love doesn't last. And most people don't understand that you have to build a relationship on something other than love. That's why the arranged marriages back in the day lasted so long. It's not because they couldn't go anywhere. It's because they built their relationship on something other than attraction. They built it on friendship or property value or something other than love. Love eventually happened because you can get used to somebody rather quickly and then even, appreciate them. But if you build your relationship on friendship or on history or on something other than love, then when the love fades or the attraction wanes, you still have something to hold yourself together with. Most people just jump in at the first sight of butterflies. That's a problem. Linda says, you both can't be crazy at the same time. Tag, you're it. Ha ha. Amanda says, LOL, Linda. Fab Daddy says, I truly believe love has multiple emotions. It does. And Amanda says, Linda, Jake is batshit crazy, and I'm knucking futs. Also true. Linda smiling. Mr. P says, I still believe in love. I want to find the right person. I'll never give up on that. So when I don't see it going anywhere, I move on. I think it's more respectful to be honest and not waste their time. I agree, but try this for me. You listening? The next time you find yourself in a relationship with somebody, try to become their friend first. Spend a month, 2 months, just being their friend. Let the love steep. Don't give in to your urges immediately. Let it build a little. Let the anticipation, not too much, because you can go too far with anticipation and then everything doesn't work. Build just a little bit, whatever you're comfortable with. 2 weeks, 6 weeks, a month, whatever it is. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Just be friends. And if you can build a friendship where you trust each other, the love will come naturally. Try that. You might be surprised. I suggest a pen pal that you fall in love with. Like maybe one from the Czech Republic. I don't know. We'll see. Fab Daddy says, love everyone in this chat. You all cause me pain and happiness. Aw. Nobody's ever said anything so sweet, Fab Daddy. John says, I never found love, only God. I'm sorry to hear that, John. You need to go look. If you don't put yourself out there, you don't ever find anything. The one thing we know for sure is that ain't going to come to you. Fab Daddy says, oh, John, everyone should find love. Better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Bill says, well said. I'm not sure about the pen pal. They lie, LOL. Well, everybody lies, Bill. People lie to your face. Why not lie to you in a pen? Pal, paper. Why not lie to you on paper? Here's the thing, though. You can choose not to lie. If you can. If you make that choice, though, there's nothing more liberating in the world. Now, there are some things I am wrong about. I have been and will be again. But I don't lie to you. I made up my mind a long time ago that it's easier to remember the truth. So I tell you what I believe to be true, no matter what it is. Sometimes I'm wrong, but I'm not lying. And you can count on that. I put my word on it. I put my stake on it. That's my bond. I tell the truth. Even if it hurts your feelings, I don't sugarcoat. I don't beat around the bush. I'm very blunt. I'm serious as a heart attack, mean as a rattlesnake. But I will tell you the truth. That's got to mean something somewhere. Fab Daddy says, catfish. No, don't do that. Miss P says, I have tried that. It just ended up finding out that there was too much damage from previous relationships. Well, that's true. Wasted more time there. You can tell if someone is interested and sincere in the first few dates. True. Don't waste your time on somebody that's damaged goods. There's a lot of facets to a relationship. I live in a very heavy pollinated area, and the pollen is deadly around here. Relationships are multifaceted, and it takes a lot of things to go right to make it work. I do stand by what I said. You should be friends first. But, and you're right, you can tell in the first few minutes. Let me tell you a secret about a girl. There's a lot of ladies in here, so tell me if I'm wrong on this. A woman knows within the first 5 seconds of seeing you whether or not she will sleep with you. I didn't say she would. I didn't say she wanted to. She just knows if she would or not in 5 seconds. Anybody? Tell me I'm wrong. Bill Bennett says, I don't lie. Probably hard to believe, but I'm honest. And I am an honest woman, very blessed. That's not hard to believe at all, Bill. I'll believe that until you lie to me. Linda Davis says, don't get stuck in the friend zone, Mr. P. No, that's not what I meant. That's a different thing. That's the girl driving the truck, not the guy. The friend zone is not a place you ever want to be. You need to tell a girl right up front, I'm not looking for a friend. Period. But that's not the kind of friendship I mean. I mean friends as in somebody you trust, somebody you believe in, somebody you honor, that sort of thing. I do not mean the friend zone. That's a completely different thing. Fab Daddy says, Mr. P, the older you get, the less likely you will find another without damage. True. Damaged people come in all shapes and sizes, though, and ages. Fab Daddy said, I read that one. Bill Bennett says, a lot of broken, lost people out there. Yeah, and there's a lot of equally maniacal monsters that prey on broken and lost people, and they do. And a lot of people make a sport out of it. I'm not one of those people. Walter Davis says, good evening, everybody. Walter, go put that Christmas tree up right now. Fab Daddy says, you're wrong. No, I'm not. John says, scared of rejection all my life since I was 3 years old. Yep, that's a problem. The fear of rejection will stop you from finding a lot of friends and a lot of loves. You can't be scared of rejection. You got to take as many no's as you can. It's a numbers game when you get right down to it. Fab Daddy says it takes them 2 seconds to, right? Well, I said within 5. 2 is within 5, is it not? I'm not wrong. And Amanda says, correct, Jake. Yes, thank you. Diego says, hello, everybody. What's up, Diego? Good to see you. We're talking ladies. Amanda says, hi, Walter. And Dana says, I don't know, Jake. I never thought about anything like that in a few seconds. You mean to tell me that when you see a man, assuming you're attracted to men, you mean to tell me that the moment you see him, you don't know whether it's a no or not? I'm not suggesting that you're sitting there undressing him with your eyes and thinking about having sex with him. That's not what I mean. I just mean you know instantly whether that's an avenue you'll even go down. Think about it for a minute and tell me what you think. Diego says, I'm glad to be back with y'all. We're glad you're back too, Diego. Amanda says hi, by the way. Linda says, wrong. It took 13 years for me to get together with Walter. I didn't say anything about getting together with him. I said you'd know instantly whether or not you would do it. I didn't say you were thinking about it, and I made that point. I'm not talking about undressing him with your eyes. I'm not talking about being dirty. I'm just saying you know instantly whether that is a yes or a no. It might take 13 years. It might take 20. But you knew all along that you wanted it, or you wouldn't have went in that direction in the first place. Think about it. Tell me what you think. Diego says, Amanda, wavy hands. I'm going to take you by surprise and make you realize, Amanda. That's a song. He wasn't being creepy. Or maybe he was. I don't know. But it's still a song. Fab Daddy says, but I've worked hard to get laid. The challenge is half the fun. Yeah, but it doesn't take hard work to get laid. Women have very particular buttons, and if you know how to push them, most of them will open right up. Not all of them, most of them. It doesn't take hard work. It takes hard thinking. First of all, if you're not worth giving it up to, you're going to have trouble getting it. If you are worth it, it'll be easy for you. That's just the way the world works. I live in a college town. I happen to know what I'm talking about. Dana says, Linda Davis, smiley face and thumbs up. And Diego says, ha, 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 ha. And by the way, that's not a slight on you at all, women. I'm not saying that that's a bad quality. I know instantly whether I would do it or not, too. But I'm just saying, men are a little bit more open-minded about that than women are. Women require things. Men require a pulse, and they're iffy about that. Diego says, great State of the Union. Yes, it was, Diego. Very great. It wasn't a State of the Union, though. It was joint Congress session. He's only been president for a month. So it's not time for a State of the Union yet. Technically, it wasn't a State of the Union, but that's basically what it was. Amanda says, Linda, but you knew in the first few seconds if you would be willing to sleep with Walter. Walter says, hi, Jake, John, Fab, Linda, Mr. P, Amanda, what it is, and Dana, and Diego. Diego says, they are destroying American lives. Who are they? Walter says, hey, Diego. Osniter. Smoking crack? Never. I like the smell of cocaine. I don't like to smoke it. EA says, hi, all. Welcome to the show, Osnet R. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you, where you're from, and what do you want to talk about? And not smoking crack. EA, how you doing, buddy? Bill Bennett says, you won't have to put the tree up at Christmas, Walter, if you do it now. But I'm on your side. She would redo it anyway. True. Diego says, but also Mexican lives as well. Don't forget it. It doesn't affect me either way, Diego, but I won't forget it on your behalf. I have white privilege, remember? It's not going to bother me at all. Pardon me. Mr. P says, crack is whack, and it's also expensive. Sorry, my chat jumped. Amanda says, hi, Osnet. Welcome. And hi, EA. Walter says, hi, Osnet. Diego says, Elon Musk is coming to rescue. Coming to the rescue. Walter Davis says, hi, EA. And Fab Daddy says, have you ever rated hotness of other people with your partner? Not especially with my partner, no. But all people rate other people. They don't, whether they do it consciously or not. There is a hierarchy. Trust me. I haven't played a game with my partner and rated hotness because that would be demeaning my partner, and I wouldn't do that. Do I look at girls while she's present? Yes, because I'm a human. Do I let her see me do it? No, because I'm a human. Bill Bennett says, is that every human? But hearts can change. Hearts can change. People cannot. Amanda says, Boston, third stage album. Amanda. That's right. Linda says, still wrong. Okay. Like I said, not everybody's that way, but most people are. Mr. P says, hello, everyone. Skipping the greetings lately? Hello, all. I hope everyone is well. Thanks for fellowshipping with us. Amen. Thank you, Mr. P. Walter says, I knew Linda, and I would be together the first week I met her. See? Mr. P says, Walter, hello, brother. And Danny says, if he makes passes at me, then and only then I know if I want to have anything to do with him. Really? So if an ugly person approached you, you wouldn't think to yourself, nah, that's a pass. Or are you telling me you don't have sexual thoughts outside of having sex? Intellect and character. A man of his word, integrity, honesty, honor, and dignity are the most important attributes that a man has. They're the most attractive to me. Yes. None of those have anything to do with sex. Sex is a mechanical act. Sex is a act that is driven from your hormones. It has nothing to do with intellect. That's why so many people do so many stupid things in and around sex, because it ain't got nothing to do with your brain. And I'm not suggesting, as I said earlier, that you're having immoral thoughts or anything like that. I'm just saying that most people know instantly whether the other person in front of them is a yes or a no, if it would ever go in that direction or not. That's not even suggesting that there's anything going on between those two people. It might be total strangers. You still know. If you don't know, you're not thinking about it. John says, hi, Walter and everyone. And Fab Daddy says, Walter, my Gandalf. Walter says, Trump is still campaigning. He always will be. He's a campaign machine. Kevin Cox says, I've been driving. Hey, Fab Daddy, Diego, and Walter. Fab Daddy says, Kevin. Linda says, it was no when we first met. But when we reconnected after 13 years, I knew and thought I had to be careful because he was a keeper. All right. So your tastes changed. Right? Is that what you're saying? When you first met him, it was a no. But later it was a yes. But you had to be careful. That backs up what I was saying. Walter Davis says, hey, Kevin. Fab Daddy says, sneaky Jake. How am I sneaky? I am the most unsneaky person you'll ever meet in your life. I carry nothing close to the vest. I hide nothing. I am an open book for all to read. Walter Davis says, Linda is Sicilian. Not a good game to play with her. LOL. What are we talking about? Oh, the rating people. Yeah, that's probably not a smart move. Yeah, you don't do that with your partner. Your partner's supposed to believe that they're the end all be all of everything. That's how they stay comfortable. But they're also supposed to be adult enough to realize that people have tastes, and that doesn't change just because you're in a relationship. What matters is that you willingly abstain from your tastes for this person. That is true celibacy. Or not celibacy, the opposite of celibacy. You know what I'm saying? It's true faithfulness. Why? Well, because if you can't cheat, that doesn't absolve you from the cheating gene. If you choose not to cheat, that is the thing that they're attracted to. The idea that you won't cheat is retarded. Anybody that thinks that isn't living in the real world or can't. You're married. There is no more cheating. Trust me, every day you have to make that decision to stay faithful. Every day. And it's an easy decision to make, but it is a decision. And the world is full of people that cannot make that decision. Women that use the excuse it was an accident as to why they cheated. Men who say, I don't know, it's just one thing led to another. That's not true. That's the same thing as saying, I was blackout drunk, I don't remember anything. Bullshit. I once drank at least a gallon of vodka in one sitting. I had to go to the hospital to have my stomach pumped out because I had alcohol poisoning and my liver shut down. And they pumped me full of green stuff to patch my liver up. And I was in the hospital for like 3 days. I did that on a dare, and I remember all of it. And the only thing I know is what I have experienced. So if anybody's experienced blackout drunkenness, explain it to me because I don't believe it. I guess you could have some kind of pathology if you've been drinking for a long time. That may happen. But just to get so drunk you don't remember anything, I don't buy it. Amanda says, LOL, but I see most everything and I don't care. Look at the menu, but don't order. You got the buffet at home. I'll be the first one to agree with that. Linda says, you did tell me someday, Walter. I just didn't know until later. Kevin Cox says, da-da-da-da-da-da. We got a sports update. He says the badass dogs take on the Vanderbilt Commodores, not the band. In basketball, at the noon hour tomorrow, they are on the roll, having defeated the Gators, the Longhorns, and the Cox. Go Dogs. Back to you, Linda. Fab Daddy says, it is a good thing to know what your partner finds attractive. You should share. Yeah, with each other. You shouldn't say, you see that girl over there? She's got a nice ass. Because that makes her feel inferior if she don't have that same kind of ass. Don't do that. Trust me. You can tell your partner what you desire in her. Leave it at that. Trust me. I know what both sides of the bed feel like. Mr. P says, your chat's about to jump and leave you lost. Some don't have sexual thoughts at all, Jake. I'm aware of that. Those people are weird. Amanda says, I don't see or believe that, Mr. P. I haven't seen it. I know that there are asexual people, but they have something wrong with them. That's not the normal state of humanity. There's something in the programming that ain't quite connecting. If you're a well-adjusted, normal human being, you think about sex at least 90 times a day. In some capacity. Not always sexual, but in the sexual realm. And definitely when you're sleeping. Fab Daddy says, sneaky as you look at women behind your woman's back instead of being open and honest. No. I did not say that. I said I don't let her see me doing it. She knows I'm doing it. I just don't do it in front of her. I watch porn too, but I don't do it in front of my girlfriend. Because that's wrong. Dana says, I don't want to have sex with a stranger. I don't blame you there. I don't either. Although most people end up in that position at some point in their life, I can understand the desire to know the person you're with. And personally, I think you can't even have good sex with somebody until you know them, because then you know all the ins and outs. You know what they like. They know what you like. You can experiment. You can't do that on the first romp, but that doesn't mean it don't happen, and that doesn't make my point any less valid. Mr. P says, well, hey, I can tell you for a fact there are multiple occasions I wasn't attracted in any way to the other person. Just a fact. That's the scenario I'm speaking of. Well, that's a no. And that also backs up what I said. You don't have to be attracted to a person to mentally rate them. It's called discernment. You do it every day. Will you eat that moldy piece of bread or throw it away? Will you take a left or a right? Is that girl hot or not? You do it every day. And in this case, what you're referring to, it was in the not category, which means you knew instantly it was a not. Diego says, could we be seeing the end of Google? No. Diego says, Google, no. Bill Bennett says, loyalty. Loyalty is very important. It's the most important thing you can have in your arsenal, because with loyalty, all the other things fall into place immediately. Honor, integrity, decency, concern, empathy, all those things happen under loyalty. I never said you wanted to sleep with them. It's not that I'm not drawing that perspective. Whether or not you want to sleep with somebody is irrelevant to whether or not you would sleep with them. You understand what I'm saying? Women can find men attractive, but that doesn't mean we would want to sleep with them, but you would. For women, it's not all about being attracted to somebody by their looks. We run on emotions. Well, yes, women do run on emotions, and there are also other things to consider. There is, can this person raise children if he gets me pregnant? Can this person pay the light bill? Am I going to be safe around this person? Is he going to protect our family? There's a lot of things that go into a woman's decision to be with a man. And in my opinion, the reason we're having the trouble we have in this world today is because women have stopped doing that with this new sexual liberation that they did from feminism. And now they're trying to act like guys, just banging everything that moves. That's not good for you emotionally. It's not good for you physically. It's not good for you mentally. It's not good for you spiritually. Ladies, and I'm talking to the ladies here because I know none of y'all are like that. Stop doing that. And also, let me tell you another little secret about women. Women can do something that no other animal other than ducks and platypus can do. They imprint on their lovers. What does that mean? That means that lover takes up a spot in your mind. That's why a first kiss is so memorable. That's why the third kiss isn't. Right? Here's the thing, though. It's finite. You ever heard the expression that your virginity is your virtue? Well, virtue is a thing that you possess. And in this case, they're talking about your ability to imprint. Here's the problem with imprinting. You can only do it once or twice. And every time it happens, it goes away more until it doesn't happen anymore. Maybe 3 or 4 times. That's it. After you've had 5 partners, you don't imprint anymore. That's why the Bible says to marry the woman of your youth, the first person you kissed, the first person you fell in love with, because that person imprinted on you, and it will be something that you can't get out of your minds ever, because you take up residence in their mind. Men do not appreciate this fact and are hardly ever taught it, which means they're not even aware that when they take a woman's virginity, that man is in her mind for the rest of her life. And every other lover she has from that point on will be measured against him. Period. And it's very difficult to change that behavior, if it is even possible. I don't know. It should be paramount importance to teach young children to make sure they love the person and have full intentions of staying with that person before they have sex. You have to get married before you have sex, because people screw that up all the time too. You should absolutely be certain that you can live with this person forever before you have sex. Because every time you do that, it takes away from you. Takes some of your virtue away. Takes some of your vitality away. It takes what makes you special away. Trust me on that. Women are very different than men in sexual escapades. Men can sleep with a sheep, and most of them probably would. Doesn't matter. Women are not that way. Walter says, Linda and I met at the Baptist High Church, at the Baptist High School, and she thought it was she thought I was goody two shoes, and I wasn't. Something tells me that the meeting of you two are going to be different stories from different perspectives. Amanda says, right, Dana, I've never been a bed hopper either. I don't believe in that. Women shove phone numbers in my pockets all the time. I'm not bragging. This is the truth. You can ask anybody that knows me. And I throw them right in the trash. I do not chase women. I don't do it. I'm not playing that game. I realize that the chase is part of the excitement, but I feel like if I do the chasing, then that makes me less valuable to them. That makes me just like everybody else. So I don't do that, which is why I spent 15 years by myself. Love is like a bottle of wine. It ages with time, as they say, says John. I agree. Amanda says, I'm monogamous. Fab Daddy says, yeah, and sometimes it turns into vinegar. More than not. Sometimes it breaks the bottle altogether. Spills out all over the floor. Amanda says, LOL, Fab. John says, or it gets corked. Wise. Walter says, love is slow motion train wreck. That's good. It can be. It can be the most happy thing in your life, and it can be the most devastating thing that's ever happened at the same time. It certainly can be. But love, as the chemical reaction to attraction, only lasts for about 3 weeks. And then the memory of it lasts for a little while, and then it fades away altogether. You have to have something else to build upon, or it will not last. Diego says, Kevin, wave your hand. Mr. P says, I've sat across from a 10 and wasn't attracted to her at all. There needs to be a certain chemistry. True. All right. Mr. P says, good looks aren't everything. True. And older, wiser people know that. Younger people do not. Dana says, Linda Davis, thumbs up. Walter says, my friend's dad was a terrible drunk. When he quit drinking, he didn't remember anyone. Wow. Amanda says, agree, Mr. P. Fab Daddy says, use tactful conversation when describing a nice ass. Or just don't do that. Don't demean your partner by doing so. Fab Daddy, he don't sneak behind my back, and I absolutely know he does. Look at other women, says Amanda. I don't sneak behind her back. I just don't do it in her presence. That's not the same thing as being sneaky. When I'm with her 100%. Fab Daddy says, like, look at the junk in the trunk. Look at the junk in that trunk. How about no? I promise you women don't particularly appreciate that. Amanda says, unless you both want or like to watch porn. Well, I think porn is destructive to your brain. And I think that it's a trap that a lot of people fall into because it's instant. It's gratification, but gratification needs to be worked for. It shouldn't be instant. If you do everything that feels good, you are practicing hedonism, and hedonism is of the devil. Do what thou wilt. It's in the devil's handbook. It is not the biblical way of doing things. So I personally think porn poisons your mind. It also makes your expectations go way high for things because that's not how reality works at all. That being said, it's out there and widely available. Kind of hard not to see it. And there are people that get into that kind of kink. I'm not one of them. Did I say I watched it? Yes, I did. Did I say I watch it often? No, I did not. John says, trust. Trust is paramount. If you can't trust somebody, nothing else matters. Fab says, I need to delete my cookies. Right. Mr. P says, trust is a tricky son of a bitch. Well, the problem with trust is once you've lost it, you can never have it back. Even if you want it back, even if you try to say it's still there, it's not. You will always look over your shoulder. Once you've lost that thing, you cannot get it back. You're putting off the inevitable at that point. Walter says, trust is huge. Yes, it is. I think it's the most important thing. Communication between each other is also very important. You need to be able to talk to each other, tell each other what you want, tell each other what you think, tell each other what you need, tell each other what you're not getting. Because if you don't do that, you can't come to a negotiation. And a relationship, make no mistake about it, is a negotiation. You are negotiating terms to be in a relationship. And if you don't have that conversation, you're missing out on everything. How can she give you what she doesn't know you want? Amanda says, most females nowadays flat back their way through life, shaking my head. This is true, and that's from the female empowerment movement, from the third wave feminism. Feminism started out as a really good idea and then quickly got co-opted into many other things. It is no longer the feminism of the 60s. I think anybody with any common sense should never call themselves a feminist. Mr. P says, absolutely, Jake. Flatbacks are dead lays, says Fab Daddy. Yeah, because they think that they don't have to do anything. They think they got what was required to be part of it. Remember how I said interesting people had damaged lives? Well, good sex partners understand that they're not the bee's knees because they've had damaged lives. And they work to get gratification on both parts. Fab Daddy says, but I'll take it. Most men would and do. Mr. P says, yep, Amanda, it's sad. Try to date and they send me naked pictures. I'm not into that. Not when it's brand new. Lacks class. Yep. Dana says, trust, love, knowing one another, becoming great friends, and then the intimacy comes natural. Amen. Amanda says, that's why we are the way we are. Imprint. That's right. Because even back then, I knew what I was trying to do. Amanda says, absolutely, Mr. P. Fab Daddy says, I've been imprinted so much, they call me the Charmin of men, highly quilted. Terrible, Fab Daddy. That's terrible. Bill says, deep, very deep. Great explanation. Thank you. Mr. P says, I wouldn't sleep with a sheep on principle, Jake. Not saying that the animal in humans can't. It happens every day in Afghanistan. Well, it happens every day in most places, believe it or not. There is no level to which the decrepity of man would not stoop. I promise you that. Anywhere you think you're like, no, I wouldn't do that. Trust me, somebody's done it. Remember that we drink milk. Remember that. Think about it for a minute. That means that somewhere in the past, some dude was sitting on a rock looking at a cow and thought to himself, I'm going to try that. And did. That's how we got milk. Have you thought about that? How do you think we know that licking a frog's back will make you high? How do you think that when you go to the store to buy dog food and it says new and improved taste, how do you think they know that? And Diego says, why delete cookies? Because cookies contain information that can lead back to where you visited last. Diego says, I only delete my history. That's because you don't understand computers. Fab Daddy says, it's a porn thing, Diego. It's a porn thing, Diego. Diego says, but I don't tend to delete browsing data. And that means if I pick up your laptop, I can see the nasty stuff you were just looking at when you thought you were by yourself. Amanda says, damn, Fab, man whore butch. Mr. P says, smiley face. Linda says, no, he is right. I like the bad boys. Even my sisters thought he wasn't my type. When we did get together, it ends up he turned out to be the real bad boy. Walter said, I'm the guy your mama warned you about. Fab Daddy says, more of a man slut. I couldn't make it as a gigolo. My pimpette screwed me over. Wow. That's TMI, Fab Daddy. TMI. Amanda says, LOL, Linda. And Diego says, Fab Daddy, don't worry, buddy. I feel you. I struggle with this addiction in my youth, and lust is a horrible thing. Yes, it is. I'll be praying for you, says Diego. And Amanda says, damn, Fab. And Mr. P says, Walter, the naughty boy. Right on. Smiley face. Diego says, love is much more beautiful than what porn makes it look like. Well, yeah, because that's not love. There's no love in porn, I promise. That's not even sex. That's something else entirely. That's just fodder for instant gratification. That is not how two humans interact. Walter says, Linda dated and married bad boys and law enforcement, and I was getting cops and judges fired. Right on. Diego says, just don't search for terrorism. I don't search for anything I don't search for anything I'm not willing to stand up and admit I searched for. Put it that way. Diego says, porn is disgusting. I think it is. It's very hard to find tasteful porn. I recommend you don't go looking to try and find it, because you'll go down some rabbit holes and you will not be successful. Linda says, yep, I can say she has a nice ass, but Walter better not agree or say it. Exactly. Let her do the looking and you just pay attention. That's one of those girl code things that you just have to understand. That's a road you don't cross. Same thing goes for if she comes to you and says, hey, does this make me look fat? Do not answer that question. Change the subject. Abort. Abort. Because there isn't a right answer. That's a shit test. I'll tell you another little secret about women, guys. Women shit test you constantly. What is a shit test? I want to find out what you're made out of, and they have ways of finding out. And that's one of them. And they will deny it as soon as I said it. But I promise you they do it. And I can prove it. Fab Daddy says, LOL Linda. Amanda says, LOL Linda. Mr. P says, I never kiss and tell. Never have, never will. I only date one person at a time. If I'm living with them, we might as well be married. Because if you're living with me, that means you're under my wing and protection. I agree. I do agree with that statement. And I am the exact same way. Except the kiss and tell part. Sometimes I tell. Diego says, how about those people who are disturbing illegal kinds of porn? Those have a lot to worry about. Yes, they do. Yeah, just stay away from that sort of thing. Fab Daddy says, no chomp, chomo. Okay. No chomo? I don't know what that means. Diego says, the internet, whether you like it or not, is not as private as you think, unless you use other apps that are no Google or a VPN. Well, if you're looking for privacy on the internet, you're in the wrong place. Diego says, so Fab, don't worry about it. It's a process. You'll get over it. Walter says, true, Diego. Diego says, we'll be praying for you. Walter, wavy hands. And Walter, pray for me, brother. We all pray for you, Diego. Pray for me and I'll pray for you, says Diego. And Dana says, porn is disgusting. I believe it desensitizes people's brains beyond repair. Yes, it does. And there's no love in any of this. Very bad. I compare this to the deranged window peeking spooky. What's wrong with peeking in a window? Are you telling me that if you walked by a window and there were two young people in there making passionate love, you wouldn't stop and look? Come on now. I know you're not supposed to, but come on. Walter Davis says, don't say a prayer for me. I just said one over myself. Toby Keith. I'd never turn down a prayer. Jake Johnson. John says, in Wales, Britain, the sheep wear wellies. Is that British for underwear? Weird. Bill says, I heard you put the sheep. I heard you put sheep's back legs in your wading boots and push it towards a cliff or drop. Push it towards a cliff or drop off. Sick bastards. Yeah, there's a joke going around about putting the sheep's hind legs in your wading boots and walking towards the edge of a cliff so they'll back up. It's just a joke. I don't know that anybody seriously does that, but there are people that seriously go to Tijuana, Mexico. You'll see more things than you want to see. Right, Diego? While you're talking about how disgusting porn is, let's talk about Tijuana. Linda says, I used to say the safest place in the world every night when Walter would hold me in his arms at night. That's love. Aw, that's beautiful is what that is. Fab Daddy says, I will share my porn. I have shared my entire life before the internet. You need to be like every other red-blooded American and keep that trash in your closet with the door shut. Mr. P says, indigenous people killed wild steer and then thought cleaning the animal to eat. And then through cleaning the animal to eat, they used everything. They even ate the dung in Africa. Yes. Yes, they have. And that's always typically been the case. They even used the bone marrow. Everything. Nothing goes to waste. I like the much more modern version of just don't kill what you don't plan to eat. Walter says, porn was introduced by the Soviet Union to disrupt America, the American way of life in the 50s. I figured the CIA put it out there to destroy young men's minds. That's my opinion. Could have been the KGB. Make no mistake about it, though. It was put out. The reason that it's free, and, you know, there's all kinds of pay sites out there, but porn is free. Don't believe me? Just go type the word porn into your search engine and you'll see. The reason it's free is because it was put out to destroy young people's minds. And it does. It causes a lot of damage. Mr. P says, can tell Fab is a Democrat just by his words, them damn Dems. Yep. Fab says, love you. I love you too. Mr. P says, weird time to say love you, but love you too, buddy. Right on. Fab Daddy says, oh, shucks. Mr. P says, oh, I know they do. I've been there. Right on. And what is a chomo, says Mr. P. When you said no chomo, I think he meant no homo. Not sure. Amanda says, chomo, child molester. Oh, no child molester. Got it. Okay, I got it. Understood. How do you know that? Why do you know that? What it is says attraction rather than promotion. Right on. Mr. P says, Fab Daddy says, thank you, Amanda. Amy Elizabeth is there. She says, having a really, really shitty day. Well, Amy, we love you. I hope that helps. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. What can we do to make it better? Is there anything you need, sweetheart? Let old Jake soothe your pain. Diego says child molesters are really sick. Child molesters should be relieved that they should let their brains out for a walk. And real men should be on the receiving end of that. Because real men don't let those things continue. Child penetrators and therapists, if you know what I'm saying, we put a stop to that. Real men don't let that happen. Fab Daddy says, Amy, cheer up. Smiley, 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 smiley. Mr. P says, well, get a shovel, Amy. Right on. Mr. P says, I'll grab one too. See, you got commisery here. Linda Davis says, hi, Amy. Sorry about your day. Amanda says, hi, Amy. Oh, no, sorry, hon. John says, long rain boots, Jake. Yeah. I know what waiters are. And I understand the joke now. I'm sorry, I moved past that when I asked what whalers were. Waiters. Got it. See, you spelled waiters and not waiters with a D. I understand what you're saying. I got you. I'm with you. Amanda says, I totally agree, Linda. I feel completely safe, secure, and relaxed in Jake's arms. Oh, stop it. You're not supposed to let them think that about me. John says, porn is fake. You think? When's the last time you ever seen anything like that in your lifetime? Amy says, I roll. And Amanda says, right, John? Danny says, porn was invented by the Jews. The biggest distributor of the porn was Rupert Murdoch, a Jew. This is true. And I got another news clip for you. If you take words like pornography or any other word to describe something bad about a person, go back and look at the origin of that word and you'll see a Jewish name. It's just a study. I don't know what that means, but I'm telling you it's true. I've done the research. I can't even think of any examples right now, but any word that describes a malady in people, like I can't think of any, but I'm sure you'll come up with them on your own. My brain doesn't work anymore. Mr. P says, I'm a world-class cuddler. I gotta be right. It gotta be the right relationship. I think that's every bit as important. Need to be comfortable enough to get that brain buzzing just from any contact. Amanda says, I know what the word is because I have 5 kids and I'm from Polk County, Florida. Just saying. I know. Fab Daddy says, Spanish, Jake. It's not our national language, but doesn't hurt to know a few words. Mi voz papito es mucho grande, señor. That enough? Amanda says, agreed, Mr. P. And Linda says, true, Mr. P. And Mr. P says, even cons will ruin a chomo's day. Yes, they will. If you go to jail and admit to doing that, you'll get a shiv by the end of the week. Absolutely. Even criminals know that ain't something you're supposed to do. John Holmes was Jewish, says Fab Daddy. No. I don't know what he was. I mean, I know what he did, but I don't know what nationality he was. But he didn't invent porn. He was just a star in porn. Amanda says, very much so, Mr. P. What it is says, I agree with porn warping a young mind. Ted Bundy on his last interview said detour access of porn from children, it will warp their mind, and he shared that from his experience with it. And it will. It not only makes you think unrealistic thoughts, it gives you false expectations of what's going to happen before you ever learn how to be with a person. Your first sexual encounter should be dangerous. It should be awkward. It should be uncomfortable and a little scary. Your second sexual encounter should be a little easier. Your third one should be old hat. The reason for that is because you learn how to love somebody over time. You learn how to touch somebody. At first, you don't have any clue what to do. You just want to touch. You just don't know. Your body needs something, but you don't know what it is. When you watch porn from a young age, you get ideas of what that is before you have that experience, and it warps that whole thing. And sex is the number one thing that will damage a person's mind for their entire life because of imprinting, which is what I talked about earlier. Fab Daddy says, Ron Jeremy looks Jewish. He is. April Rain says, hey, Jake and Amanda. Hey, April. How are you, sweetheart? Amanda says, Ron is nasty, Fab. And hung like a mule, and a big one at that. Amanda says, hi, April, hon. Fab Daddy says, it's the beautiful April Rain. Dun, dun, dun. April says, everybody, I'm driving to Florida from Georgia. Well, please be careful, honey. Amanda says, April, I sent you a couple of messages checking on you. Is your phone okay? And Mr. P says, I can't tell you how many times I've sat back to watch a movie and I really wanted to see and tell her, don't touch me, because in a minute we'll either be asleep or in the bedroom. Wow. That's never happened to me before. I'm the kind of guy that puts the popcorn in my lap, if you know what I'm saying. How do you know all about these John and Ron people? Asks what it is. Because I'm male and I've owned a VCR. Amanda says, I'm going to plead the fifth on that, Mr. P. Yeah. Yeah, there's none of that. We're either watching a movie or we're doing the other thing. There's none of that. Don't touch me because it's not time. It's time. Trust me. April says, hey, I have about 4 hours. Right on. Well, that ought to give you time to catch up on the last 2 months of podcasts. Mr. P says, smiley face, and Mr. P says, hi, April. And John says, I'm the one that falls asleep. Me too. I was being silly before. Me too. What it is says, thank God you're doing a Bible study. Why is that? I'm just curious. Did you think I wasn't human? Or are you one of those people that thinks that because a person is involved in Bible that they can't have a normal life? Or don't have a normal life, rather? I am a sinner just like you are. I live in a world just like you do, and I've made many, many, many mistakes. To that, I would ask you this question, what it is, and I want you to answer this one. Would you rather a pencil-neck nerd who has never seen daylight and has spent his entire life with his nose in a book, pimply-faced and feminine because he's never been outside, would you rather that guy tell you what's right and wrong, or would you rather this guy tell you what's right and wrong? Because I've been married 5 times, I've got kids, I've done the rock and roll lifestyle, I've done drugs, I've drank alcohol, I've done everything bad that you can imagine, and when I tell you it's wrong, it's because I know it's wrong. I have made that mistake many, many times, and I'm trying to cause you avoidance of making that same mistake. Which one of those people would you rather be your mentor? Just curious. Amanda says, and there is a rewind option always. Right on. April says, I saw something, Amanda. Call you after the show. Cool. And Amanda says, okay, April. And Fab Daddy says, can't touch this. Da-da-da-da. I'm too legit to quit, yo. Too legit to quit. God, I'm old. Fab Daddy, you bring out the old man in me. What it is says, help us sinners hear the word. Yes, I will always try to do that. But I'm learning it too, just like you are. Make no mistake about that. I am not pious in any way. I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. I'm a man just like you are. And I love just like you do. And I hurt just like you do. And I have problems just like you do. And I can't pay my light bill just like you can. All that stuff. I'm just a dude. Don't ever think that I'm above you, because I'm not. April says, damn, Fab Daddy, thanks, love. Good to see you, too. April says, John, love, good to see you. How is everyone? What it is says, I get it, brother. Your road walk sound familiar, right? Yep, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm rode hard and put up wet. So when I tell you I know something, it's because I've done it. It's not because I'm reading it from a textbook. It's because I've went out and lived it and I've experienced it, and I know how it feels, good and bad. I've done great things in my life. I've had some of the most awesome things happen to me that most people never get to experience. But I've also been dragged through the mud and had the worst Most devastating things happen to me, and I understand pain on a level that most people don't. I understand love and loss. I understand futility. I understand hope, which is why I do this job, is because for whatever reason, God saw fit to experience me in these topics. So I am experienced. And if that helps somebody, then that experience is worth something, right? So that's what I'm getting at. And yes, thank God we're doing a Bible study Sunday. And I'll talk about that with just as much as authority as I'll talk about anything else I'll talk about. John says, hi, April. Good to see you as well, heart. Mr. P says, I never know which John you're talking to. Remember, I'm one also, April. Yep, there's a John and a John H. And I think there's 3 Johns here. I get confused, too. The only reason I know who I'm talking to is because your name pops up. Sometimes I call you John, and sometimes I call you Mr. P. But I always call him John, so I don't know. Just read the chat with me. Maybe we'll figure it out. April says, I don't know what y'all are talking about, LOL. Nothing in particular. We're just running our mouths. Most of all, trying to shock each other with nonsense. Bill Bennett says, you are a very good mentor, and I can't believe there isn't millions listening. There should be. Thank you, Bill. Go tell somebody so that we can add to the number. And I believe that too. And maybe God only wants me to talk to 168 people, which is how many people's been here tonight. Maybe that's what he wants. I don't know. All I know is I'm trying to do what I'm told. And if he wants me to be famous, he'll make it happen. And if he wants me to be a guy that talks to 35 people a night, that'll be what it is. It's in his hands. I'm just doing the work. I don't promote this show. I don't push it like other people do their videos and their chats. I don't do shorts, and I don't play the algorithm game, and I don't do the clickbait thing. And, you know, there's a lot of things I could do to make it more successful, but then that would make me an entertainer and not a teacher. I decided when I started this thing that I was going to speak the word, and God could take care of bringing the people to hear it. I think that's the right way to do it. That way I'm not building a crowd. God's building the crowd. And if he wants you to hear it, he'll bring you to me. If he thinks I'm doing a right job at it, then so be it. He's the boss. Make no mistake about it. I'm just a mouth. Amanda says, LOL, April, we're talking about sex, porn, and relationships. That's in there, but we're talking about anything you want to talk about. Mr. P says, we're talking about physical attraction and also spiritual attraction. Amanda says, agreed, Bill. Fab Daddy says, I am holding the phone over my head, so you are above me. Well, your phone is above you. I'm on your phone, but I am not above you. I am equilateral to you because I'm in North Carolina and you're wherever you are, and I assure you that's on the same plane. Unless you're on a ladder, or I am, or maybe you're in a hole. If you're in a hole, then I'm above you. April says, hi, Bill. Good to see you. Hugs. What it is. Much love. Linda Davis says, LOL, Fab. And Amanda says, shaking my head, Fab Daddy. And Danny says, LOL, Fab Daddy. April says, right, Jake? Thumbs up. Thank you, ma'am. Prayers and angel, dead smiley face. Why are you putting dead smiley faces up? Amy Elizabeth says, Jake, did you watch the video I sent you? I'm sure I did. Yes, I did. I did watch that. That was last night, right? Yes, I did. Last night or night before last? Yes, I did watch it, though. I was half asleep, but I did watch it. April says, Dana, good to see you, love. Smiley face, heart. What it is drug through the mud is no fun. Life on life terms, the highs and the lows. Right on. I've been in both places. I've been right up on top, and I've been way down at the bottom. And I've been in the middle for most of my life. April says, all Johns, I love you and hugs. Right on. Every John. And Dana says, great to see you too, dear April Rain. Smiley face and heart. Walter says, hi, April. Linda says, hi, April. Be safe in your travels, dear. Heart. What it is says, small gatherings are good. Yes, I believe that's true also what it is. There's something to be said that love grows best in little houses. Remember that. Write that one down. That's a Jakeism. Came from a song. Mr. P says, thanks, April. I was afraid the other John might feel left out since I know you meant me. Small gatherings are good, says Patty. I agree. Couldn't be more right, Jake. Thank you, Mr. P. Bill Bennett says, he brought me to you, and I thank all of you for it. Thanks a bunch. How about them Yankees? Right on. And you're welcome a bunch. And thank you for being here. He brought me to you, too. Remember that. You're not in this alone. I'm with you, too. April says, LOL, Amanda. April says, and being careful. What it is, that's if the world is round or flat, right? Well, as far as you're concerned, it's flat. It always will be. So just remember that. Bill Bennett says, Fab, Jake, are you a pimp? It's hot out here for a pimp. Fab Daddy says, are you going to play guitar tonight? I hadn't thought about it, and it's 10 o'clock already, so no. But I could if you want to hear one. Mr. P says, speaking of that, Jake, I'm looking into getting a camper and buying a piece of land down there. I can lay a foundation for a house with about 15 to 20K. Right on. That's a smart move. Buy the land first and then build onto it. I agree with you there. If you're serious about moving south, I know where a piece of property is that you could live for free. But it's back in the woods. Do you like rivers and countryside? April says, what's the dead smiley? Smiley face with a halo. Don't dead things have halos? Isn't that what angels are? Or am I just remembering that from a Bugs Bunny cartoon? Fab Daddy says, I can't handle more than one woman, Bill. So, not a good pimp at all, right? I don't have the energy to cheat, to be honest with you. I could barely stand the woman I got. I don't think I could handle two women. They drive me to death. Amanda says, probably not, Fab. His hands are bothering him still. You're not supposed to tell him that. Maybe I told him that already, so you're good. Mr. P says, I'm just going over some different ideas, right? Well, the offer's there if you want it. April, just get with me privately and I'll tell you about it. You got my email address, don't you? April says, Walter and Linda, thank you. Much love and hugs. John H. says, I don't get jealous. We're your family. That's right. If you're getting attention, we're all getting attention. We are family. We are family. Amanda says, can't go with the camper, Mr. P. Sure you can. If you're by yourself, you don't need much. Mr. P says, we happy few. We band of Untethered Live family. Right on. We band of brothers. Oh, can't go wrong with a camper. I got you. Sorry. Amy says, if the world was flat, cats would have knocked everything off the edge already. True. Be careful, though. Remember, I told you a long time ago, you got to pay attention to what I talk. I said, as far as he's concerned, the world is flat, and it always will be. Which means you can't get far enough away from the earth to see the shape of it. Don't believe me? Ask Bill Nye the Science Guy, or better yet, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Linda says, Mr. P, You should come down state towards us. It's flyover country. I'm not exactly sure where Mr. P is. I'm not sure Pennsylvania is down, but it could be. Amanda says, April, angels with halos is a dead smiley face. And Fab Daddy says, LOL, it's a joke, April. I was joking. Fab Daddy says, LOL, Amy, what it is Cody Jinks has a song called Somewhere in the Middle. Right on. That's me. April says, oh, LOL, that's turkey. John says, I love that I'm single. Smiley faces. I hated being single. I hated every minute of it. And I was single for a long time. Linda Davis says, never mind. I think I want to go where Jake is talking about. In the woods, by a river, and free. Right on. Well, I happen to know of a piece of property in Fort White, Florida, that belongs to somebody very close to me. And I'm never going to go there. So it's just sitting there. It's on a Three Rivers Estates. You can look that up. That's where they filmed the old Tarzan with Johnny Weissmuller. And the river is the 𝕂𝕂𝕂𝕃 River. And it's freezing cold because it's a spring, a natural spring. And it's kind of expensive to live there if you're indigenous to the area and poor. But it's a beautiful place, and it's really woodsy, and it's very private and very secluded. And I doubt anyone would ever find you if you went looking for you. In fact, you have to learn how to get out there because there's a bunch of twists and turns to get to it. But it's out there. There's a septic tank and a light pole and nothing else. Because there used to be a house there, but the copper scrappers got it long before I got back to it. What it is says, trying to love two women is like a ball and chain. Trying to love two women is like a ball and chain. Yeah, it is. Mr. P says, Linda, I've been up to Containing many different times, hunting, camping, etc. Nice area. I don't know where Containing is. April says, oh, yeah. And Amanda says, LOL, can't keep up with me. That's right. Eat your Wheaties. That's why God invented methamphetamines. April says, LOL, Amy. And Amy says, ugh, Neil deGrasse and Bill Nye are liberal shills. Yes. But they both agree with me that you can't see the curvature of the earth. And I don't think they meant to agree with me, but they did. Mr. P says, Linda is northeast of me. Okay. If I recall correctly. And Amy says, I hate being a widow. I understand. That would suck. Mr. P says, I'm 25 minutes south of Pittsburgh, roughly. Gotcha. April says, long time. Yes. Name that movie. Anybody? April says, it's true. And what it is says, is the place of your job of printing back up and running? Yes, we never went down. We just had to clean up for a few days. But thank you for asking. And it was quite an ordeal that we went through. My place got vandalized, if you don't remember that. Or if you weren't here when I told you about that. The place where I work got vandalized by a crazed Mexican that apparently just wanted to destroy the place because he didn't steal anything. He just destroyed things. Broke all the windows, knocked everything over, ruined hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of ink and tools. And it was a disaster. Cost a lot of money. Thank God the man I work for is wealthy, because if not, we'd have been out of business. I thought for sure I was out of a job for a couple of days, but we kept going, and now we're back up and running. And by the way, since I'm talking about things that I may or may not have mentioned while everybody's here, there's some new T-shirts in the store and new cups if you want to go check them out. It's the All No No T-shirt, much in demand. Go check it out, and there will be more to come. That one that is there is very simple. It's just a placeholder. I'm in the process of designing nice ones now. So if you want to wait, I understand, but there they are. They're in the store. Go check them out. And, it's coming. All coming together. April says, out in the boondocks. It is way out there, but it is free. I won't charge you nothing to live there, or very little. You have to pay taxes on the land. That's it. April says, LOL. What it is says, naked and happy. Right on. Amy says, sounds perfect for me. Well, come on down, baby doll. Bill Bennett says, I will take it. Sounds amazing, but I'm scared of snakes and gators. Will that be a problem? No, but the spiders will be. That's the place where writing spiders come from, and they're everywhere. Big ones, size of your hand. They don't bite, though. They're just annoying. I mean, they might bite, but they're not aggressive. A lot of spiders. Mr. P says, sounds nice, Jake. What a piece of land to call by own eventually. I understand. I'm just trying to give you options, buddy. April says, oh, hell's bells. LOL. Mr. P says, free sounds right, though. Very right. That's what I'm talking about. Linda Davis says, Mr. P, I'm southeast from you. Coal country. Scullykill country. Scullykill County. I think that's what that is. Either Shelley or Scully. Kind of in the middle of the state. Amy says, don't forget to change your clocks this weekend. Right on. We're falling back this weekend, right? Or are we springing forward? I can't keep up with it. I let my computer do the thinking. Amanda says, LOL, Bill, one thing to know about Florida. If it has water in it, it will have gators in it. Not this place. This place, the water is ice cold, and I don't think gators like it. The water comes straight out of the earth in this place. I can't swear to that. There might be gators in there, but I don't think they like cold water. But everywhere else in Florida, if there's water, there's gators. Even your pool. Yes. April says, your boss is a good man, Jake. Yeah, he is. Amanda says, hats and T-shirts and hoodies and stickers and cups. Right on. They're all there in the store. And all of them are not representative in that little ticker down at the bottom of your screen there where you see the T-shirts. That's just a few of them that I highlighted. If you want to go visit the store, the link is on my YouTube front page. You can go there and go to the store, and all the stuff is in there. So there's all kinds of stuff you can look through. And right now, it's kind of sparse. Most of it's Jake Johnson Band shirts, but I'm working on filling it up with everything. Chill Stream shirts, Untethered Live Bible Study shirts, Untethered Live shirts, Politic shirts, Elizabeth shirts, whole 9 yards. And more to come after that. It's a slow process because I'm the only one working on it, but we're getting there. Amanda says, no, I read that one. Mr. P says, Linda, out there by Somerset. And April says, nice. Sent you something on Cash App, Jake. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you. I'll check it out as soon as I get off here. God bless you. Thank you. And you guys can hit that Cash App, $ Jake Johnson Band, or Super Chat if you want to. It's up to you. It's entirely up to you, but thank you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for supporting this channel. It's very important that we keep it going. Amanda says, thank you, April. We love you. Mr. P says, I saw my very first bald eagle in Somerset. Yep, there's some bald eagles in Florida, but they're most out west is where they're very prevalent. But there's a few here and there on the East Coast. And John says, I love spiders. I have 3 tarantulas. Right on. If it's got more legs than me, it should be able to handle its own business outside of my house. Everyone says, John, woo, no spiders. Amanda says, oh, you're awesome, John. I want a tarantula, but Jake don't like spiders. Jake will kill spiders. Everything has a right to live, but this is my house. And if you come in here, you're dead. Period. April Rain says, I love you too. Heart exclamation point and 2 hearts in a circle. Thank you, ma'am. And Linda Davis says, I'm by America's oldest brewery, 𝕌𝕟𝕥𝕢𝕐𝕗, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Right on. Mr. P says, Linda, I saw Scully kill, and that's way out there by my sister, Chrissy. She lives in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Cool. All right, I made it to the bottom of the chat. Tarantulas are in a cage. Well, if they come in this house, they'll be under my boot in a cage at the bottom of the floor. Dead. Very dead. Bill says, I'm in Indiana at the Ohio border, and we have bald eagles for about the last 5 years or more. Right on. Mr. P says, I hate spiders. They give me the willies. Me too. They are not normal. I don't know why they even need to be here. April says, LOL. Some things should not exist, like polar bears, tigers. I'm good with them going extinct, just so you know. Mr. P says, I'll dispose of them or throw them outside, though. Right on. April says, ditto. Amy says, Yellowwood Forestry has golden eagles. Yep. Amanda says, good night, all. See you tomorrow night at 8:30, right here on Untethered Live for your favorite and mine, Politics. Danny says, I hate spiders, too. Right on. I hate spiders. I don't like snakes either. I don't like anything that creepy crawly, and I don't like anything that sneaks up on you. John says, I did have a 9-foot boa constrictor. Well, if you were in Florida, they would call you a flight risk. Bill Bennett says, good night, family. Dana says, heart. Linda says, Mr. P, the Appalachian Trail runs through our area. And April says, they are useful to rid of annoying insects. Yes, outside of the house. They don't need to be in my house. There are no other annoying insects in my house. They shouldn't be here either. Miss P says, much love, y'all. Much love back to you, too. Bill Bennett says, you all is awesome. You're awesome. Amanda says, I'm a critter person, John. April says, lizards are great, too. I don't mind lizards. They don't bother me. I don't know why a lizard doesn't bother me and a snake does, but I think it's because they're slimy. Mr. P says, snakes are easy. I trust them more than spiders. I don't. Remember the first snake. John says, good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. And Amanda says, love all animals. And Amy says, good night. Amy, I hope your night gets better, honey. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. If you need to talk, reach out. You got my email address. I love you guys. I'm going to bed. JT Raw Dog, everything has purpose. Amen. Welcome, JT. You came in just time to watch us leave. Come back tomorrow night. We'll be here at 8:30. Mr. P says, good night. And Amanda says, snakes are not slimy. They just very smooth. They look slimy. They're slimy. Yeah. Linda Davis says, good night, all. I love you all. Be safe, April. I'll see you all tomorrow night. John says, snakes are not slimy. They look slimy. They're slimy. Yeah. April says, aha, I love you all. God bless you all. And love to all. Much love. All right. Thank you all for being here. I've enjoyed the conversation immensely. I hope we all got something out of that whole sex debacle. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for some politics. Let's get crazy, shall we? Have a great night. God bless you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.